What happens when you take a world built for creativity and remove every single rule? Welcome to Pokemon Pokopia, where normally your main goal is to build a sort of paradise for your Pokemon. It's about structure, it's about efficiency. But today, we're throwing that shit out the window. This is Anarchy Isle, a multiplayer island with no rules, anyone can build, anyone can destroy. By the end of the day, this island could be a thriving paradise, or it could be an absolute ruin. In today's video, I'm documenting everything that happens over the first 24 hours. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you after the first hour. To start the day off, I posted the link in the Pokopia Discord and Reddit and began patiently waiting. Within just a few minutes, we got our first anarchist. Our friend Marshall here wasted absolutely no time. He built up some basic habitats, found some very important Pokemon, and even built a really nice little starter home. Didn't realize anarchists could have such good taste. Before we knew it, our island's environment level raised to 2, and then 3, and then 4. If you don't already know, in Pokopia, your Pokemon's happiness level affects the environment rating. To a maximum of level 10, each level brings new power-ups and items you can buy from the PC. And yes, I'm counting a frying pan as a power-up. However, one of the most important things you can get is the kit to rebuild the Pokemon Center. In just one short hour, our friend Marshall had unlocked so much for the island already. Shout out to my man Marshall. Marshall headed out for work, and the island became eerily quiet for a couple hours. I was starting to think the experiment was dead in the water. Just as I was thinking that, 2 new Dittos joined the island. One of them erected a giant pillar of ice, while the other one began flooding a mountainside. I was starting to wonder if he was ever gonna stop, or if he was just gonna flood the entire island, but he left after like 30 seconds. Pretty much right as he left, a new anarchist named Peach joined the island. Peach's first order of business was to make some sense of the new water feature, and after a few quiet minutes, a new Ditto would join the island. Now, this wasn't just any old Ditto. This Ditto's name was Girly, and Girly wasn't here to mess around. She knew exactly what she was doing. Her first order of business was buying a Dragonite doll from the PC. If you haven't played Pokopia, you probably think a Pokemon doll is just a decoration, but it's so much more than that. Normally, you're bound to the limited resources of your area, but once you find Drifloon, he can take you to an island that resets its resources every day. I bet a bunch of world leaders wish this was real. So Girly took herself to a dream island. She started gathering stone, flowers, trees, some old furniture that surely no one else was using. I had a good feeling about this Ditto. Upon returning to the island, Girly began setting up some machines and adding some more habitats. Then, a new player named Squiggly joined the fray. Now, Squiggly's first and last order of business was building this strange symbol. Must be a cultural thing. Shortly after, the town's environment level increased to 5. Probably not a coincidence. By the end of the 8th hour, the island had registered over 30 Pokemon in the Pokedex. Largely thanks to Marshall and Girly, who had been pouring their time and energy into this island like it was their frickin' retirement plan. And speaking of great plans, this is when Girly found Tinkaton. Now, Tinkaton here has a wonderful ability called Engineer. For buildings like the Pokemon Center that normally take an entire day to complete, Engineer makes it take only 1 hour. This little bit of knowledge seriously speeds up the game. Right at about the 8-hour mark, we saw our first returning player. Y'all remember Squiggly, right? I hope so. I mentioned him like 30 seconds ago. He immediately checked to see if his old statues were still there, and someone had completely defaced them. The shock alone was enough to send Squiggly home. Some people just have no decency. At this time, a new anarchist named Jess joined the fray, and with her and Girly's combined powers, the environment level quietly rose to 6. Jess began building an igloo, while Girly and a new player named Carissa began building even more unique habitats. The Pokedex hit 40, 50, then 60. It was at this point I had to admit, the life of anarchy wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Girly even ended up building a statue that was weirdly perfect. I mean, that's my favorite Pokemon. I chatted with them on Discord to find out that, by pure coincidence, their favorite Pokemon was also Swablu. And here I thought they were just trying to force a spot into the video. At this point, the Cloud Island crashed for a necessary software update, so Girly and the others were forced to log off. But at this point in the night, the Reddit post really started popping off. By the time I got my software updated and booted back up, there were 3 completely new people on the server. It was at the point where when a spot opened up, it'd get filled within the next minute. Stuff was happening faster than I could keep track. A Ditto named Stedman built this circus tent-looking thing. A Ditto named Squish built a gamer cave for Mosslax. A Ditto named Kevin started burying important Pokemon a mile underground. The server really started lighting up. After a great day of people watching on Anarchy Isle, it was finally time for the moment of truth. I was going to go to bed in real life and leave the island unattended for upwards of 8 hours. What if everything was ruined when I woke up? I mean, it was a real possibility. But to my surprise, when I woke up the next morning, I couldn't believe my eyes. Anarchy Isle had expanded like never before in its short 24-hour life. A new storage building, a new apartment building, flowers, trees, water features everywhere. Not to mention, the Pokedex had shot up to over 100 Pokemon total. Is this really what 24 hours of anarchy looks like? I gotta be real, the Pokopia community makes some pretty awesome anarchists. So I decided to make a vow. I'm going to keep Anarchy Isle open 24/7. I want to see what this island looks like after a week, after a month, or a year. So, happily ever after, right? Right? You and I both know that's not the case. Welcome to Ground Zero on Anarchy Isle. It's been about a week since I've opened the server. I figured instead of telling you how chaotic it is, I might as well just show you. What started as a modest wall of black rock has become a monolith of the server. But hey, I have to hand it to them. At least they made it accessible. Many houses half started. Swabble here's been griefed a couple times, but overall is in pretty good shape. Add another bird statue to the list. The obligatory house in the sky. This is actually like a really nice little home for ghost type Pokemon. Oh wow, the decorations. Man, this place is nice. The storage facility that's been filled with hot lava more times than I can count. Yeah, there used to be more chests in here. In fact, the amount of times this spawn has been covered by lava is kind of ridiculous. Little do most griefers know, it's actually not that hard to clean up lava, so hey, if you're planning to grief, I don't know, get more clever with it. Like somebody tried to do a lava cast down this thing like it was Minecraft and it just didn't work. A lovely gate. We've even got Zoroark on lookout. Of course it wouldn't be an Anarchy server without some pixel art. Zapdos, get out of the way. Move, move. We've got something of a desolate ruin. Okay, this is maybe the coolest base I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Lava! La 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 lava! Chicken!
Strategy in motion!
Zapdos' home is looking very nice. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but it kind of gives me like the crying, laughing emoji vibes. One of the first houses. Man, this place is kind of a dump. So instead of just waltzing around and trying to show you guys every last detail, I'm going to invite you to come join the server. Whether you choose to build a giant rock wall or, you know, that, we would love to see you come leave your mark. Oh wait, that sounded wrong. As always, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.